He wasn't menacing, not really. Just overwhelmingly large. Kids often shrieked and darted past, their parents muttering warnings about that big dog. But Gordon didn't mind. He wasn't bothered by the whispers or the wide, wary eyes. He was waiting for Becky. Becky, a wisp of a girl with pigtails the color of burnt caramel, was the only human Gordon truly cared about. He adored the way her laughter echoed through the neighborhood, the way she'd toss him a tennis ball with an infectious giggle, the way her tiny hand nestled in his giant paw. Today, the usual butterflies of anticipation fluttered in Gordon's chest. He felt a particular warmth surge through him. It was a feeling he couldn't quite place, but it always accompanied Becky's presence. He'd seen it earlier, a flicker in her eyes, a tightening of her shoulders as the morning bus approached, a shadow of apprehension. Gordon, aware of it, shifted his weight, a low rumble vibrating through the ground. He remained motionless, a monumental statue, a silent promise. The bus rumbled to a halt, a plume of exhaust smoke billowing into the crisp morning air. Becky, clutching a backpack, stood hesitantly at the edge of the road. Her hand, almost invisible against the vastness of Gordon's paw, was unconsciously trembling. Gordon didn't move. He simply waited, and waited. Then, slowly, a slight, almost imperceptible movement. Becky glanced towards the approaching bus. Her eyes widened. A single tear escaped and rolled down her cheek. Not fear, but a different kind of pain. Something deep, something she hadn't dared admit to herself, much less to anyone. He'd seen this look before, on a rainy morning when she was struggling with her math homework. Or the day the school had called to say she'd lost something important in the commotion of the morning rush. This time felt different, more profound. Suddenly, Gordon started to move. He didn't run. He didn't bark. He didn't even growl. He padded softly towards Becky, his massive form a reassuring presence. He lowered his head, his huge, brown eyes gently looking into hers. He nudged her hand with his nose. Then, something remarkable happened. She didn't recoil. She didn't scream. She just buried her face in his thick fur. A sob escaped her lips. Gordon, with a gentle, almost imperceptible sigh, leaned his head against hers, his massive frame a perfect shield. He stayed like that for a long time. He wouldn't let go until he heard the bus door close, until he saw her safely seated in the bus. Then, he turned, his gaze never leaving her as the bus disappeared down the road.